Hi everyone, my name is Lexi Harkwell and I'm a biologist and educator at the River Institute here in Cornwall. Since Saturday is Women in Science Day, I thought I'd bring along a few of my colleagues so we could chat to you all about our experience as women working in science. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is Asha McCrimmon. I'm a field and laboratory technician.
And I'm Emily Zereshi. I am the River Strategy Coordinator at the River Institute.
And my experience as a person working in science, or my feelings about science, is that I've always been super duper excited to be a scientist since I was a really little kid. I remember going outside and picking up rocks and spending a lot of time in the forest. And so for me, it kind of felt like an inevitable thing to become a scientist. Did you guys have like a really similar feeling growing up, or is it something that kind of came a little bit later in life?
Probably for me, it was in high school. I always liked the environment, but my science teacher, she was always so excited to like teach science, so she really inspired me to like go into science. So it's definitely in high school where I fell in love with the environment.
That's pretty cool.
And I think I fell in love with it more so through the river. So I grew up going out in the river on my little boat quite often. And I thought to myself, what career could I do to work on the river? And I thought that the only option was to be in the Coast Guard or something. And then I discovered the River Institute and did like summer work there, eco-friends, field work type of thing in the summers. And that got me hooked pretty much.
And now you're back working at the
Yes.
River Institute, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of had like a similar experience being able to participate in things at the River Institute. When I was in school, I did my co-op in high school at the River Institute, which was really cool and kind of is what brought me back. And Ashley, I really like that you said your teacher was the person who made you excited, because I kind of feel like that's my job now, working as a biologist and an educator. I get to do the science and still really enjoy that part, but I also get to share the fact that I love science with kids and get to see those kids kind of come back. And when we worked with you and you were doing your co-op and now you're back, so it's kind of cool to be able to share those now as part of my job and get to do science at the same time. So yeah, I think that's really neat. I think another cool thing about working at the River Institute too is just how many women actually work at the River Institute. I think at most workplaces, the stat is a little over 40% of women in STEM, women work in STEM. And at the River Institute, we have I think around 70% of the women or the people that work at the River Institute are women, which is really cool. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what you do for your job now?
Yeah, so I'm a River Strategy Coordinator, so we're trying to have a lot of communication and collaboration up and down the river so that we're all on the same page and working together towards a shared goal of a beautiful and healthy river. There's also an education component to my job, similar to you, Lexi. So I'm creating education materials for the Great River Report, so that's super fun. And we're about to release those. So the idea there is to engage youth with their ecosystem, science, just caring about the environment and making change in their communities. So yeah, lots of fun.
Oh.
How about you?
My title is a field and laboratory technician, so mostly working in the laboratory, doing analytical tests and prepping for the micro course. And then I also get the experience to work as a teacher assistant for our microbiology course, which is really exciting because I get to teach others about micro, so it's really good.
What's your favorite part of your job?
It's very hard to say.
It's all pretty fun.
It's all really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Cool. What's your favorite part?
Sorry. That's a good question. I think the variety of things that I get to do, which is really cool. I get to help with a lot of different kinds of research that we do at the River Institute. So I help with fish research and contaminant research. My favorite, one of the research projects that I work on is working with bats with Dr. Brian Hinkey, who's my boss, which is pretty cool. I love going out for the night excursions. And yeah, I'd say probably that's my favorite part of my job. And I was going to say that I feel like my experience working as a scientist was really different, I think, than what I expected growing up and taking science classes, that being a scientist was going to be like. I got to do a lot more hands-on things. I think that I had the perspective of more of the academic side of science growing up, more like papers and research, written research, which I do really enjoy, but I think I get to do a lot more hands-on things than what I was expecting in school. I don't know if that's the same experience that you guys had, like what you thought being a scientist was going to be like and actually being a scientist.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally thought it was the same thing. Like you're either in a lab or you're like on the computer writing reports. We do spend a lot of time on the computer, but it's not always report writing. A lot of collaborating and meeting new people, and yeah, it's super fun.
And if you guys could give one piece of advice to any young girls who are considering pursuing a career in STEM or in science, what would you say?
Oh, I would say get out of your comfort zone. It's really important to take leaps of faith, go learn something new, meet new people, and always be looking for those opportunities, like volunteering and getting your foot in the door, learning what you like and what you don't like. You might think you like something, but if you go try it out, you might think, well, maybe that's not for me. But that's good to know, right? So.
Yeah, and I think for me, I would say too, taking any opportunity that you can, because not only would you maybe learn something that you didn't like, but it also lets you kind of put your foot in the door, right? So me doing my co-op at the River Institute when I was in high school was an opportunity for me to make those connections for later down the line when I was looking for a job. And so I think all of those opportunities led me to new things, new opportunities, not just new legs, which is really cool.
Yeah, I agree, because when I first started the River Institute, I did not expect to be working in the lab, and now that's the one place that I love the most, is being able to run the different tests, and the lab is really exciting. So for me, the advice would be to like constantly ask questions, even if you're unsure of something, always ask the questions.
Yeah, so I hope that is inspiring for some of you all out there who are interested in careers in science, especially any young girls who are thinking about becoming scientists. We get to do a lot of really cool, interesting things, and we get to share our love of science with others, including people like you. If you have any questions for any of us over at the River Institute, you can check us out on social media. We're on pretty much all the social media platforms of River Institute or River Institute Cornwall. And I just wanted to say thanks to your TV for having us today to get to speak to you all about being women in science.